In this video, we're going to answer the question, what is a plan of plans? In later videos, we're going to drill into the tool and show you exactly how all of this works in Rally. But here, we're just going to introduce the concepts. Now, in our video series on capacity planning, we talked about the fact that capacity planning is very similar to sprint planning. But instead of planning user stories into a sprint, we're planning features into a release. And we start the planning process by prioritizing and sizing our backlog of features and creating our initial release plan. Then the big question is, how much of this will fit into this? And we determine that by assigning the teams that will be working on the release. Then we determine the capacity of those teams by looking at historical throughput and velocity data to predict how much work we can get done in this release. So once we have preliminary estimates on our features and forecasted capacity for our teams, the math is pretty easy. Then it's just a matter of moving features into our release plan and assigning and allocating the work to the appropriate teams until our capacity is consumed. And that's capacity planning in a nutshell. How much work do we have to do, and how much of that work do we think we can successfully commit to taking on? In the same way that capacity planning builds on the principles of sprint planning, creating a plan of plans takes capacity planning up a level. The first thing to know about a plan of plans is that it covers a longer time period. Instead of planning for a single release, you're planning for multiple releases. A common use case is for an annual plan. So our plan of plans covers the same time frame and the same releases as our 4 quarterly release plans. But a plan of plans allows the strategic part of the business to come up with bigger funding targets for your products, for your goals and objectives. And just like a release plan is trying to determine the feasibility of that plan, the plan of plans is trying to determine whether these larger initiatives and objectives are achievable within a given time frame. Because a plan of plans is a long-term strategic plan, it includes portfolio items that are at a higher level in your hierarchy than your single release plans. Your single release plans are typically at the lowest level in your portfolio hierarchy, and at Rally we call that level features. A plan of plans includes portfolio items that are one level higher than the single release plans, and we call that level initiatives. A plan of plans can also be created at a higher level in your project hierarchy. It certainly doesn't have to be, but it often is. The important point is that the teams in your plan of plans are working on shared initiatives. Often that means that these teams will roll up to a higher project in your hierarchy. For example, these release plans are created at the Rally level of our project hierarchy, and our plan of plans is created at the same level. We could create our plan of plans at the Value Ops level, and then add release plans for clarity. When you create a plan of plans, you're prompted to select from 2 possible plan types, roll-up and mirror. And that selection determines how your plan interacts with your project hierarchy. And we're going to discuss these plan types and the project hierarchies in more detail in the next video, Plan of Plan Types. For now, let's just go back to our Rally plan. However you set up your plan, the process from that point forward is basically the same as a capacity plan with regard to adding your projects and portfolio items and assigning and allocating work to the teams in the release. You can choose to add your initiatives to your plan of plans, do your assignments and allocations, and then build out the feature level release plans. Or you can start with the release plans and use those to populate the data in your plan of plans. Either method works, and it just depends on what's right for your organization and for your planning methodologies. The final thing I'd like to point out is one of the more important characteristics. A plan of plans connects your single release plans into one larger plan. That means you don't have to recreate the data in your single release plans inside your plan of plans. And as teams make changes to their release plans, those changes are reflected in your plan of plans in real time, no syncing required. So it might look like more work to do this level of planning, but the connected plans build off of each other and actually help streamline your planning process once you get the hang of it. And hopefully that provided a clear introduction to what a plan of plans is. And as I said earlier, our next video, Plan of Plan Types, is going to explore the available types of plans and how they connect to your project hierarchy. To learn more about Rally and Agile practices, check out our blog and community. Like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you'll never miss new content as it's added.